Hey, I guess I'm having some internet problems, man. I've been waiting to go live for a while here, and it was just spinning. Okay, hey, thanks for being here. What do we got? We got fake human, yes, snotting along. Uh, yeah, that's the thumbnail right there. So, I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of great videos to show, stuff to go over. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like it's always a lot of fun. We always have a lot of fun here. My name is Mike Sandoval, and I was in the Hare Krishnas for 20 years. I've been out for about 14 years, and this is where we all get together and we talk about the Hare Krishna bullshit, our experiences, and we're here for anybody who's trying to get out or has any questions about getting out or questions about someone that's joining. This is the place where you want to be, and so welcome. And so I want to say thanks to all my old timers and all the rookies that are joining either live or on the replay. Okay, I got that out of the way. I got that out of the way, and like I said, I got a lot of great stuff to show, to talk about. So I'm going to get right to this great, exciting opening. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
No, there we go. All right. Hey, and we got Jolene. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm glad you made it here. Fake human running after that kiwi. Absolutely. And Duke of Squirrels. Uh, good to see you, man. Absolutely, man. You're a you're a you're an old timer, man. You rock and roll, Duke. Let me tell you. And fake human, of course, with the snotting. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into a lot of stuff. Um, I'm really excited about this. So I want to start off with someone that I really haven't. I don't think I've ever shown this guy before. He pops up on a lot of people's feeds on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, I guess, whatever. Um, and this is he's got something to say here. It's kind of interesting. So I thought I'd share it. It's real quick. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, come on now. Nope. What are we doing here? Come on now. It's not working. It's just not working. Is this not going to work for me? It's not going to. It just doesn't want to work for me. Hold on. I think we got it though. Nope. There's always a problem here. All right. You know what? Forget him. I tried, buddy. I'm gonna go right into knitting cold lady, and let's do that. You can see I don't have patience. I don't have patience. Yeah, we're gonna get to him. We're gonna get to him in a minute. Um, I was in there too the other day because I just anyway. I'm gonna get to him, but I wanted to start with this. Let's see.
Was writing my memoir about my cult experience. Getting therapy can be a whole topic for cult survivors. So I'm going to start with I had some great therapy while I was in the Army before I ever started writing. In 2014, I believe, they came out with a policy, the federal government came out with a policy that if you are getting therapy because of sexual abuse or intimate partner violence, then you do not have to report it on your security clearance review. And that was really, really, really crucial for me. And I'm talking about it in case any of y'all have secret or top secret clearances working for the government and you think you cannot get mental health support. Unfortunately, it's true that for most things, you will have to report it, and that could go poorly for you with your next clearance review. If it was related to sexual assault or intimate partner violence, you do not even have to tell them that you had it. So that is very, very important. I, of course, was seeking therapy for those exact reasons and made sure everything was tied to that. So, and because therapists who work with soldiers are pretty good with dealing with PTSD, I actually got some decent care and help even for my childhood trauma and my cult stuff. But it wasn't like regular talk therapy. It was very much sort of emergency therapy, and I am very grateful that I had it. That being said, when I started writing my book, I thought I was fine. I did not realize I was 5 years into a 13-year process of deconstruction and understanding that I wasn't fine. I had already had a very big breakdown, which is at sort of the climax of the story that I tell in the book. But still, I thought I was fine. And by the way, this is a survival tactic for.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there for a second because I have to agree with her. I thought I was fine. I turned my back to this cult when I left. I left everything in my apartment. I had an escape hatch. I had a way out, which was really convenient. I just had to move about a mile. I had my family. So it was still traumatic. The whole process was still traumatic. But I had that. And it was still traumatic. Okay, it was still still traumatic. That whole just getting out. So when I got on with my life, which wasn't easy, but I thought I was fine. I got on with it. It took me about a year to figure out what I wanted to do because I was like, I'm not a Krishna anymore. And then I started doing, I started doing what I wanted to do, like going for it. But I was already an old man. But I thought I was fine. I thought everything, in my mind, hey, I'm fine. And it took me a while to realize I wasn't fine. I mean, there's shit going on. And that's what I mean by residue. And I think it doesn't matter how long you've been. I mean, if you can get in and get out, and you don't have any issues at all, I think you're pretty freaking lucky. Yeah, I think I saw you posting. I guess he's got me blocked because I was trying to communicate with you and someone else, and nobody was responding to me. So I guess my comments just don't show up in his thing. I don't know. Yes, I thought I was fine when I stepped away 40 years ago, still working on cleaning up the residue. Yeah, like she says, she thought she was fine. She realized she was just a few years in to a lifelong process. She said 13 years for her, but I think she's counting 13 years from when she says it's a life. It goes on for a long time. It's not, and for me, it was coming to the realization that I was 20 years older, and I was going to be retiring in a few years, or at least I was going to be retirement age in just a few years. You tried to get back in. I think I was banned too. I went in a couple times on a couple different days, so I'm not sure if uh, but yeah, I did see you, and I did try to comment in there, and I think Easy Market was in there. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that in a second. I want to get back to this. Um,
Complex PTSD. When we are in really, really, really bad traumatic situations, we tell ourselves everything's fine. And there's a really good book by Jason Kander, a veteran, called Invisible Storm, which is about his journey with PTSD. And he talks about this, right? And we tell ourselves, it's fine, it's no big deal. But then we often forget to go back later when we are safe and tell ourselves, no, that really was a big deal. That really wasn't fine. And I need help with that, right? So there's this step that we miss in becoming fine after trauma. So ultimately, what happened with me is I said, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. And then I read Uncultured. Because there's always a very interesting moment for an author the first time you get to read the whole book that you wrote. And I got to the end and I said, oh, this lady's not fine. Probably needs some therapy. And I went out and I got some great therapy. I had sort of given up on it because I was so tired of having to educate my therapist on cults. What ended up happening is I was connected with a therapist who grew up in the Children of God, who had done her work and healing and obviously become a therapist. And she was really, really helpful for me. Had to pay out of pocket for years because she was out of the country. But that was what I needed to help me really understand why I presented as so fine, but wasn't actually fine. And now I get great therapy through the VA, so it's free and it's lovely. And I've gotten to address a whole bunch of things. And, you know, every time you get through one thing, then the next thing comes up. And I really, really think that everybody should have therapy, right? Just like everybody should have a physician for physical health care, I think everyone should have a mental health professional in their corner. And I'm so grateful for the ones that have helped me.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with her 100%. I think everybody should at least go to therapy at least once. You know, it's kind of like going to the gym. You know, there's nothing wrong with it, and it can really help. It can really help. So it wasn't until I didn't realize I wasn't fine until I started watching the Scientology protests, and I was really getting into it because I could relate to it. And the more I learned about Scientology, the more I realized, the more I realized how much Hare Krishna was just like it, exactly like it. And I already knew that Jehovah's Witness was just like it. And so not only did I know Hare Krishna and Jehovah's Witness were so similar, it was uncanny. And now I realize that Scientology was even more like Hare Krishna than Jehovah's Witness. And so that's when I really started to learn about cults, doing more research about cults. And then I started telling my story, and I started doing these videos. And that's when I realized that I got a lot on my mind. That's when I really realized that there's residue in there that I hadn't really recognized. All these little things that we talk about, dietary things, habits, maybe sleeping habits, maybe eating habits, maybe just whatever they are, this residue left over. A lot of us have different things. And I realized from talking with different people that a lot of us we share a lot of the similar residue. It affects us. It's affecting us. We all have this stuff in common. So that's when I really realized that I wasn't fine, and not only was it that I wasn't fine, but that I really needed to do this. That this is really what I needed to do in order for me to be fine. Was to do this. And of course, once I started doing it, I started having a lot of fun. So you know, what could I say about wait a minute, I want to get back over here. Yeah. So you tried to get back in. You were banned too. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you praising him. I was praising him as Antichrist and a priest of the. Yeah, he. Oh, he was eating it up. He was eating it up, and he had the biggest smile on his face, and he was loving the fact that you and him agreed on that you agreed with him on. So he loved it. I was watching this guy. I was this is so it's so, it's so crazy. I think my daughter said that this is really good therapy. She said this is the best thing. That's what my daughter said, and so I agree with it's great for me. I love it, and I love that it's kind of a light-hearted approach. It's a light. I joke around and laugh, and I call them names, and I call them this and that, and I think I think that's important because there is no humor in the Hare Krishna. The only humor is them making fun of human nature, of being a human being, making fun of karmis. And Nidin Kole is really good. She's I don't know how she's anti-cult, and I don't know how much anti-army she is, but she's definitely anti-cult, and the army fits into cult. And that was the other thing is I recognized. Once I recognized Hare Krishna Jehovah's Witness, you can kind of there's patterns. There's patterns to things, and I didn't go to school and study psychology or any of that, so it's not as easy for me to see like someone who's like these doctors and professors that study this stuff, and like her, she's got a degree. I told him to get over himself, and he said never. Yeah, and that's what makes him. That's what makes him. But they're all like that. It's just that we've got him in real time, and he'll interact with us. He's no different than Hridayananda if he was interacting with us, or Indra Yumna Swami, or Bhakti Vikas. They'd be acting just as dumb. They'd be saying the same stupid shit that he says. Yeah, absolutely. She's great. She's great. So knitting coat lady, yeah. Therapy. She recommends therapy, and I recommend therapy to anybody out there. Radhe, Anke, whatever your name is, if you're watching, because I don't know about you. I don't know what's going on with you. But you should get therapy. And anybody who's thinking about leaving, is in there, is trying to get out, or thinking about joining, you should speak with a mental health professional, or at least a cult expert. If you don't want to believe me, you just look it up. Do some research. Hey, Don, how you doing, Don? Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so that was knitting calling number one. Okay, so yeah, as far as regarding regarding leaving a cult,
just walk away. There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Just walk away. So here's knitting cult lady again, and she's saying, yeah, just walk away. She says it's hard. It's hard. Okay, so we shouldn't, don't be surprised that these people can't wake up, and that this Guru Hari is deluded, and all his followers are deluded, and Hridayananda's followers are deluded, and all of these people are deluded. And don't be surprised. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. Okay. but it can be done. It can be done.
One of the reasons I don't like it when people who don't study cults talk about cults is because people will throw out little things like this. There's a reason Turning Point is failing. Cult members don't usually walk away. They drink the Kool-Aid. And, well, actually, most people leave their cults. It is not true that most cult members die in a murder-suicide. If you're trying to say that they usually subscribe full on to the cult's beliefs while they're in the cult, then yes. But it is not at all true that most cult members don't walk away. That's what cults want you to believe. It's not even true that you're not able to leave cults when you want to. You just usually have to really, really want to. And they make it hard in a lot of emotional, financial, and psychological ways. But in no way, shape, or form is it true that most cult members die in their cults. Yes, we are going to be seeing large amounts of people walk away from MAGA. And we have been seeing that since the very beginning of this administration.
So yes, I'm not surprised that this Radhe is stuck in this cult and she can't get out. I'm not surprised at all, because that's what they do. That's what cults do. Is it's manipulation and coercion and spiritual blackmail and emotional blackmail and all of these things, which amounts to brainwashing. And she's already been brainwashed by Prabhupada's books, and that's heavy duty. When you're brainwashed by Prabhupada's books, it's like your brain is cooked. And now you're just hopping around looking for a guru, or you're just a fringy. You're like, I can't follow, but I still believe that there's this little blue boy playing a flute. These gopis running around. Even if they're not following, going to the temple, or a lot of them are out. They've blooped. They're gone. But in their mind, that I know it. So many I knew in the cult have tried to make a life, but end up going back to the cult. Yeah, because they think that they can't leave. They got them brainwashed, but they can. They can. That's what Yashodanandan said to Vadiraj, my roommate, and my other roommate, my non-devotee roommate, my friend. He heard him. He told me. He said, "Yeah, they were talking, and they said, just give it some time. Sri Mukunda will be back. Don't worry." They thought I was coming back. I keep reminding them that Mike is only interested in helping abused in cults, but to them, they want you to debate them in Krishna and demonize you. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's stupid. I've already had to go around with the guy. There's nothing to debate. He's a dreamer. He's a dreamer. And what am I going to, Yeah, you can go back. Yeah, it's, to each his own. Everybody, can just do whatever, and it's like, and you don't have to go. You don't have to a lot of them will say, well, challenge me. Oh, you left Hare Krishna, so now what are you doing? I'm not doing anything. The world's not like that. That if I have to be something. Otherwise, if I'm not a Hare Krishna, then I'm a Christian, or I'm a Catholic, or I'm Jewish, or I'm Muslim, or I'm this, or I'm that. Hey, walk the dog, man. Take care of the dog. You got to take care of the dog, man. Roddy said she was fine. That pussy woman was a mistake. She wanted to write pushy woman. I gave her that much. Wished her what? No, I don't. you're a better man than me. I'm gonna tell you that right now because I don't give these people credit. I don't give them credit for shit. Their track record is they don't get a benefit of the doubt. They really don't. She doesn't get a benefit of the doubt with me. She reached out to me, and she can't be honest. She can't be honest with them and say, yeah. I mean, I guess she said she is honest that she reached out to me, but then she made up some excuses to them because they were saying that I was lying, but I wasn't lying about anything. So evidently, she's lying. Then she comes back. She comes back onto their. She sends me an email. Then they have her on. Then she comes back and reaches out to me again, which just tells me that she's trying. She wants to get out. She wants to. There's no other explanation. She wants to get out. Now maybe she's just having a momentary lapse, where she's having a momentary, clarity. She's having some clarity. Maybe whatever she's doing, she's having some clarity. She's watching. She's coming in here. Evidently, she's coming in here. She's watching. She's having a moment of clarity, and she's reaching out, emailing me, commenting in the chat, talking about how she's sad, how they kicked her out, this and that. Obviously, she's going through some problems. That's not me. I'm not putting her through the ringer. I'm not making her go on YouTube and do a hostage video. And let me. Okay, wait a minute. What does it say? They said she was not abused, but the original email that we all read, they said if you cared, Mike would email her, but you haven't, so I'm the hypocrite. That's ridiculous. First of all, she was abused, because if you watch the video, they're harassing her and humiliating her, and then making demands of her, telling her husband that she needs to get in line. If that's not verbal abuse, I don't know what is. Humiliating her online on YouTube, live on his YouTube stream, so his 200 subscribers can see him berating her and abusing her and accusing her of whatever, and accusing her of being an alcoholic, accusing her of being a traitor, accusing her of going and hanging out with demons and all of this stuff, manipulating her mind, guilting her, shaming her, victim blaming her, whatever he's doing in front of all these people, and then getting all of his people there to chide in with him, make demands. Well, she needs to do this and she needs to do that. Meanwhile, they're calling me the hypocrite. Well, they're doing this to this woman who told me that she doesn't like to go on there. So she said she doesn't like to go on there. But they make her go on there. So who's the hypocrite? Who's doing what to who? That's what I want to know. Like who's doing what to who? And yeah, I really don't care. I mean, I care. The only thing that I care about is that she wants to get out. She's trying to get out. She's stuck. Her husband's in there, probably financially. Her relationship, her husband, financially, she's probably not in a position to just divorce her husband and find a place to live. I mean, that's a lot of shit. It's a lot easier to just tell her husband, yeah, okay, I'm with this guy. Okay, yeah, he's a guru, whatever the fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck she wants to wash his feet or any of that. All I care about is if she wants to get out, she needs to get out. She needs therapy, she needs to get out. That's it. I'm not going to call up all his people and say, hey, Freddie, do you want to get out? You need to get out? Hey, Lolita, do you need to get out? Hey, Johnny, do you need to get out? No. You want to get out? You want to contact me? You can contact me. You didn't have any problem contacting me before. These so where this is such insanity. That's what I'm saying. A mental health professional should be studying this. These people have already put her through the ringer, right? They're making her go on live and glorify this guy. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I really don't care. They don't have to prove anything to me. He thinks it's like some kind. I guess he thinks it's like some kind of, in his narcissistic delusions of grandeur. He thinks it's like a game. Like, who's gonna get this woman? Like, am I gonna get her? That's his insanity. That's these people's insanity.
To ask him to come. Thank you, Adwaita. That's why I'm grateful to all the devotees. Haridas, thank you. Prabhupada, thank you. Yeah, even you neophytes out there, thank you for bringing me a book. This I'll repay you. I come here to destroy your false identity. So that's how I repay you, man. Let me beat the shit out of the false ego. Yeah. You'll love it after a while. You'll be like Adwaita. Yes, go do it, Yeah, beat me, let the truth beat you, man. Beat your illusion. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you, Guru. I appreciate you, Narayan Mars. This is how I pray you. I just destroy your illusions. How else? How else can I repay him? What is repayment? Just facilitating the bullshit? Is that repayment or just tough love? The truth. Isn't that repayment? I mean, why do people misunderstand me, Freddie? I'm trying, they think, that this is a fault, that I'm being offensive.
Oh, the persecution syndrome. Now he's being persecuted. Why does everybody misunderstand me? Why does everybody hate me? I'm just trying to save your soul. I'm just trying to give you love of God. I'm just the representative of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Why is everybody coming down on me? Why does Mike make fun of me? What am I doing so wrong, Freddie? Can't somebody just praise me and tell me that I'm great? Please?
He didn't have that dream. I did.
Well, isn't that special?
Isn't that special? Okay, so here's this woman. There she is. So I blotted out her face because I didn't want to embarrass her. But evidently, they got mad at me for doing that. So here she is. So this is the woman who contacted me. Here's her husband, who treats her like shit, doesn't give a fuck about her, lets this guy talk shit, lets all these people talk shit about her, laugh at her, call her alcoholic, call her this and that, humiliate her in public. I'm the one sticking up for her. I'm the one saying she needs help, and all of you scumbags should just leave her the fuck alone. I'm the only one that really cares about her. And this is how you treat her. This is how you guys treat this poor woman. You guys got her so brainwashed. And now she's coming on and doing the very thing that she said she didn't like to do. Because she's being forced to do it. She's being forced to do this because she already sent me the email saying that she don't like doing this.
Everything, just straightening everything out. I'm just straightening out the house. You know, the house is all crooked, crooked ideas. What is this? You got many lifetimes to attain Krishna Prem? No, this lifetime. I'm just house cleaning. Why am I at fault? What am offensive? I'm just offensive to the illusion.
What am I doing wrong? Why am I offensive? I'm just Gora Hari Das. I'm just. Why? Why me?
Right? So I have one question for Radhe. You're here, Radhe, but are you here?
I'm here.
You're here?
Yes.
You ready to testify before Mike that you're really here? Are you ready to convince him? Because
Why is it so important? I'm not convinced. You're forcing this woman to be on camera praising you. And her husband can't join in your little circle jerk unless she comes on and confesses. And you want to make her do this, and this is somehow testifying in front of me. Like, I give a fuck. I really, the only thing I care about, like I said, is I wish she could get out. She wants to get out. She's trapped. She's trapped in this cuckoo's nest of wackos.
Mike, I'm here.
you gotta, yeah.
Mike is there, and I am here.
He muted your face. He used you as an example. He's saying she's still
Oh.
faceless. I don't believe her yet. So you're really here? You're really, I'm not controlling and manipulating you. You're here of your own free will?
Yes,
Yeah, she's there of her own free will because he told her husband he needed to get her in line, and if he didn't get her in line, he couldn't join in the circle jerk. So that means that she's there by her own free will. So you guys can all believe what you want. That's where these people are. This is what they're doing. He thinks this is a game with this woman's life, and her husband doesn't give a fuck about her, and she wants to say that it wasn't a simple pussy woman or whatever. It's so sad. This is so sad. What this guy is doing with this and her husband, and she's probably I wouldn't put it past them that there's domestic violence going on, and I'm sorry. That's just the way they're talking, the way this whole thing is going. You can't convince me of anything other than that. I'd like to see the police reports for wherever they live. See how many times the cops have been called out on this couple. I told him that the Antichrist and prophecy revelation goes, Gora Jesus, would have his idol image in every home in the world. He loved that idea. Yeah, I'm telling you. The guy's a psychopath, and these people are just as psycho. They're just as psycho. To think that this guy is a God man, he's some kind of holy man when he's talking, preaching with fuck this and fuck that and bitches and pussies and all kinds of shit. But hey, if it was harmless, I'd say, hey, to each his own. But it's not harmless. It's not harmless at all. It's just not. It's not harmless at all. Okay, so and let's see. This is interesting, and I got to share it with you. This is my favorite doctor, Britt Hartley, and this is very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and get this going.
My kids watched the Prince of Egypt movie and it did not go well. So I usually don't bring my kids into social media or talk about them on YouTube. on YouTube, but I do think it's relevant for today. And of course, as always, I'll use it as a jumping off point to talk about some interesting concepts, especially today, the concept, a kind of theism called mesotheism. So let me set the stage here. It was Sunday. I wanted to watch a family movie, and my older two kids have some experience in religion. They have gone to church. My oldest was baptized. They have some sense of like the songs and the prayers and what people believe at church. But my younger two kids, who are ages 7 and 8, Florence is my youngest and Fuji is my second youngest, they have never been to church. They don't really understand what's going on with religion at all. And so I thought it would be a good Sunday movie. The music is amazing. The songs, even the atheists say like, these songs are amazing. I still listen to these songs. The atheism leaves my body when I listen to these songs. So I thought it'd be good to like talk about this story, talk about what their Christian and Mormon neighbors and friends and family members would think about this story. I understand that Jews would view this story differently. We just don't have really a Jewish community in where I live in Idaho. So really I was talking about how their Mormon and Christian friends and family would see this, would believe in this and what they would think about this. So I thought it would open up conversation, and I thought the music would be very good. I thought they would like it because it's an animated movie, and my younger two were horrified. They were so scared in this movie. This was a horror movie for them. And so not only did they not like it, they were truly terrified by this movie. So this was really interesting for me as someone who's used to religious violence. I was raised religious. I'm used to seeing Jesus on a cross. I'm used to blood. I'm used to sacrifice. I'm used to Jonah and the whale. I'm used to Noah's Ark. I'm used to the Exodus story. This is all normal for me. I didn't think that it would be scary because...
Okay, so I just have to say that I was too. I was brought up a Catholic. I went to catechism. I went to we learned the Bible stories. A lot of them were there was violence in them. There was death and violence and the magical stories, but there was a lot of, Jonah living in the whale, getting swallowed by a whale. And I think it's Jacob was supposed to kill his son, and they threw the one guy in the ditch. They were going to kill him, and then the other ones got with a lion, and then they put in the furnace and never with Abednego and what just there's a lot of violence. There's a lot of violence in there, but I grew up with that. So when I got into the Hare Krishna and I saw Nrsingadev, I was used to seeing blood, Christ with the thorns and the bloody face and getting whipped and the whole thing. But that's me as an adult. Now, as a little kid, I still think that's heavy duty. And this doesn't even. I don't think this comes really even close. But if her little kids that were not exposed at a young age to any kind of religious violence, I can't handle it.
I'm very desensitized to religious violence because I was raised religious. So the beginning we got through okay. It starts off with slavery and they're killing the newborn baby boys. And we got through that okay. But what really scared my children was when the mist was happening, which was kind of representing the power of God that would kill the Egyptian oldest sons. And so there's this one scene where a family is sleeping together and the oldest child exhales, and then the younger sibling is just kind of laying next to their dead sibling, and the whole land is crying out for the dead. And then good news though, if you kill a bunch of innocent lambs and put blood on your door, the scary white mist won't come into your house. And as I'm watching this is a nothing burger for me, right? Like this is like, I've heard this story since, before I was 5 years old. I've gotten used to this story and it didn't register really as anything to me. But watching this now through the eyes of children who have not been religiously indoctrinated, it is so weird to them. And it did not at all feel like a good and loving God. And so it still shocks me as someone who is raised religious, who's raising non-religious kids, is how weird some of these concepts are to them when they are not raised in it. And that's true of all religion. When you're an outsider looking in, it's not just this story. Everything from the outside looks strange. It's not strange, though, if that's the goldfish bowl that you swim in, that you grew up in. So I remember one time just trying to explain Groundhog Day to a friend of mine who was from India, and that being just like the strangest thing to them. But to us, it's like this cute little ritual, and it's totally normal. So from my kids, the overwhelming response that I got from my 4 children is, why did God have to kill babies and kill lambs in order to free this people if God is a powerful God? And I like kind of sat with that, because I don't think I ever thought about that, because I was just so used to this story. Because in their beautiful child imaginations, I asked them, like, what would you have done? And they came up with all kinds of ideas, if they were a powerful God, on what they would have done instead of killing innocent babies and innocent lambs. And that even if it's supposed to represent Jesus, like if we're putting this into a Christian context, I realize Jews would have a different interpretation, then why couldn't they put a loaf of bread on their doorstep to represent the future bread of life, or some other symbol? Jesus has many symbols around him. And so my kids, like even my 7-year-old was like, why couldn't God make the slaves invisible? And then they could have left. Why couldn't God have placed that really cool fire as a wall between them?
So these are all great questions by these kids who have never been grown up in religion. Like, well, why did God require innocent lambs to be slaughtered and then put their blood on the door so that he didn't kill the wrong people? Like, what? That makes no sense. It just makes no sense to these little kids. Like, if you grow up in it, you go, well, that's what God, that's where, you know. But to a little kid, it's like, well, why couldn't God just do this? Why does God have to steal? I got to show you this one. Let me see. It's pretty good.
So if he wants to also do this, why should we stop him?
Sorry, so do you believe that God can become a small blue baby?
Yes, if he wants to. If
Okay.
it's his desire.
And this baby used to get told off by their mum.
Well, yes.
God got told off by his mum.
Yes.
And you believe that this child, Krishna, when he grew up, you know gopis, the milkmaids.
The gopis, yes.
Yeah. Do you believe that when the milkmaids used to go and take off their clothes and wash in the river, that he took all their clothes and hid them,
Yes.
and sat in a tree so he can watch the naked girls come out of the water?
Well, this is not important.
It's in your books though, isn't it?
Yes. What we are trying to establish is that we are all parts of God. Every living entity is an eternal servitor of God.
Okay.
These details about Krishna's pastimes on earth, this is not what we should focus on. This is confidential information. First,
It's not confidential, it's in your books.
Yes.
You know, that if
So,
confidential information you tell me and you say, please don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
But when you write it in your book,
Okay.
that God became a blue baby.
Work today is broken. Every day, people juggle
The
so many
commercials,
different tools.
You know, we live in a
just
commercial world.
That this blue baby was a naughty boy and his mum would discipline him. And then this, I would say that this is not a representation of God Almighty. This is a invented stories.
Well, that is your opinion.
Yeah, but I think my opinion is valid. It's
valid,
weighted,
yes,
yeah.
It's valid.
Yes, it's like, why? Just in the same way, like why did they have to kill a lamb and put the blood over the door so that God didn't kill the wrong people? Well, you know, why not a loaf of bread? Put a loaf of bread up above the door, nail a loaf of bread above, whatever. Why does Krishna have to steal the clothes of the gopis and watch them come out of the river naked? I mean, I understand they say, like she said, well, this is a pastime, and it's it's represent. But why? Why that? Why are you teaching that? Why that? Why are you teaching? You know that Krishna's got to take this bird beak, this giant bird beak, and rip his head open. In order to say, I mean, why all this violence and all this killing? Why all of that? Why all the sex and all the? I mean, I understand, and that's what this guy is saying. He's going, well, our God don't do that. And I understand it is just one cult arguing another cult, but that's part of the religious trauma. The religious trauma, people get stuck in this because they both are going through religious trauma. He believes if he doesn't believe what he believes, there's repercussions, and she believes that if she doesn't believe what she believes, there's going to be repercussions. The Yamadutas are going to come, and this guy's going to go. He's going to go to hell in a chariot or something. I don't know. I don't know what they believe. Gory Jesus doesn't really get too many views. Yeah, well, he gets. He doesn't. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God he doesn't. But he gets enough, and he's got people in there like this woman, whose life and her marriage, her relationship has been fucked up by this guy because she's not happy. If she was happy, she wouldn't be reaching out to me. Normal people don't go on YouTube and sit there and let people humiliate them and insult them because this guy is pretending to be a guru guy, and her marriage is depending. This is the. Well, one day she's gonna be like, "What the?" She's already going, "What the fuck is going on?" And she just symbolizes many people that are in that same situation. Believe me, she's just another Rupa Manjari. And if it's not Gaurahari, it's someone, it's Sri Dayananda or Bhakti Vikash or any of these guys. It's the same bullshit with the same manipulation, with the same books, the same beliefs, the same, I'm a God man, I'm all of that. It's this worship me, drink my foot fungus, all of that stuff. It's all the same. But yeah, thank God he doesn't. If he wants to have millions of followers, he absolutely does. He wants to have what Indra Yumna Swami has. He wants to have what Bhakti Vikash has. He wants to have what Narayan Maharaj. That's exactly what he wants. And he thinks he deserves it. He thinks I don't know what he thinks. He's a nut is what he is. Many early church fathers didn't think Jesus' Father God of pure love was not the same as the Old Testament war God. Yeah, all these gods, who knows? You got to have a scorecard because, the Romans, they had their gods, and the Christians had their God, and the Jews had their God. And they're like, it's like a Venn diagram of who believes which God is part of which God, and there were other gods too that we don't even know. So many other cults of people, guru type people, Pythagoras and who knows? These people that were running around worshiping each other, worshiping other people. Just like these gurus, just like these Indian gurus. Okay, so I want to get back to this woman. She's got a lot of great things to say in this little video here.
The Egyptians right away. Why did innocent babies have to die? And then I would kind of say some argument that I didn't agree with just to hear what they would say, because I'm now like trying to see this through their eyes. And I would say, but is it okay for God to do that because those children instantly go to heaven? And then my oldest was like, if that's the case, then why isn't it always the right thing to do to kill babies so they get an instant ticket to heaven and don't do anything wrong and don't, accue any sin so that they don't have to even have the chance of going to hell. And he took it further that, like, why wouldn't then abortion be the right thing to do? Because yeah, fine, you go to hell as the parent, but then you ensure that all your children go to heaven instantly, and you do the ultimate sacrifice by going to hell just so that your kids get a one-way instant pass to heaven. So he wasn't buying this argument that, like, oh, it's okay just because they get to be in heaven now. And so they did not at all come away from this movie feeling like this is a loving God, or this is a God worthy of worship, or I want to check out church now to see what's going on. Even during the burning bush story, God kind of raises his voice when Moses is like, oh, I can't do it, who am I? And he goes, who made man's mouth? Who made the deaf, the mute, the seeing, or the blind? Did not I? And it's like very, like, you know, loud and scary. And it's like my oldest said, weird flex, God, but okay. Like, okay, you made the mute, the deaf.
Yeah, it's kind of like that when she said that, it kind of reminded me of when Krishna shows his universal form to Arjuna, and he's like, now watch out, because I'm going to show you my universal form, and it's going to freak you the fuck out. And he's like, wah! And Arjuna's like, wah! And it's like, well, like, I don't get it. Like, why is God like that? Why is God like Nrsingadev? And, you know, I mean, they got their story, but through this innocent child's eye is like, why? I don't buy this whole idea of this karma, because then, you know, they're instantly gonna go to heaven. The little kid's like, well, then why aren't we killing all the babies? If that makes sense, then we should just be killing babies left and right. I mean, the kid's got a point. The kid's got a point. Before the firstborn takeover and after the firstborn takeover, yeah, like right there. Yeah, a lot of genocide in the Old Testament commanded by God, and for no reason. Like, God, there's no reason for that. What she gets back to this great point. She's gonna make this great point in a minute.
Blind, like, okay, like, great job, thanks for that. But like, even the burning bush was really scary to them. And so it reminds me also of, I've shared this on social media, I don't think I've shared this on YouTube. There was one time my daughter came up to me, and we just have a rule, you know, they get limited screen time, and if they see something inappropriate, that I will trust them with their computers if they will come and bring to me what they saw that was inappropriate, and to not hide it from me. And so I'm very grateful and glad that my daughter felt like we had a good enough relationship that she came to me and she said, there's something inappropriate on my iPad. So of course, like, she's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 at the time. And I freak out because I think that it's corn, and I'm freaking out that she's seen something. And so I go to grab her iPad, and I look at what she's saying is inappropriate. And it was Jesus on the cross. And this particular one, I will admit, is bloodier and more naked than the average Jesus. But this Jesus was very bloody, kind of had some like flesh hanging off here, and then like very, very naked, like very naked. And to her, it's so interesting because, like, when I was a kid, when I saw this, the adults would just say, this represents God's love. And I'd be like, all right, I guess that's God's love. But to her, her instant response to this, when someone didn't tell her that this is God's love, is that this is inappropriate. This is violent. This is something too gruesome for me to see. This is something that makes me feel icky, and I need to tell my mom about this. And it really just, like, again, to me, like, seeing a bloody Jesus is a little bit of a nothing burger. Not that like I feel bad. Like, I really do believe that historical Jesus was probably crucified by the Romans, and crucifixion is a horrible way to die. So I'm not insensitive to that, but it's just an image I'm very used to, right? Like, it doesn't like freak me out because I'm just very used to this image. And so it is interesting that when you don't tell children that this is the love of God, they naturally don't experience the sacrifice of Isaac or the story of Exodus or even the atonement, Jesus on the cross as love. They see it as violence. And so a religious child is often taught the conclusion first, that God is good and God is loving and God is just. Therefore, from a young age, whatever God does is good and loving and just. And then you will find reasons to make whatever God does good and loving and just. But a child outside that religious goldfish bowl starts with the actual scene that a supernatural being sends death through a city, that children die, that animals die, genocide, family screams, slavery, the chosen people survive because blood is placed on the door. And without a pre-installed theological frame, they do not naturally say, wow, God is love. They say, wow, that is a monster. And so this is where I think it becomes more than just like, my kids didn't like this movie, like they don't want to ever see it again. The reaction was not like atheism. They weren't.
They not only didn't like the movie, they don't ever want to see the movie again. We don't want to see this movie of all this killing. And I think about how, all I could really think about is the Nrsimhadev story, the Prahlad story, how there's a children's book about how this lion god came out of the pillar and he just killed everybody. And then he put the guy on his lap and he ripped his insides out and blood everywhere. And then the little kid put the guard. I mean, that's a wacky ass story. It's bloody and it's violent. It's weird and it's just like it's for kids. It's for kids. And I think they even have a animated Prahlad movie that is probably on the internet somewhere. It's just it's insane. Idolatry is famous for child sacrifice, but Christians, Jews, Muslims overlook the demands of the Old Testament. God, yeah, I mean, there's so much violence going on that there's a term. It gets to here. Let me go right to it here.
Or sometimes just the suspicion that God does exist and might be powerful, but is not good, or at least.
So I was saying the other day, I was getting these videos ready, and I was thinking to myself, this is like, I was just having these thoughts that God is not good. If there is a God, maybe God is not good. Maybe God is like this evil little kid that's just doing stuff like the little kid that puts the bugs in the spider webs and breaks the wings of a bird so it can't fly. Just a horrible little kid that just makes the bugs fight each other, or does shoots the cats with a slingshot. He's smacking at the cats and dogs and killing them or whatever. Just and maybe that's God. And he's put us on here, and everything is just violence. Everything is just animals eating each other and killing, and humans killing each other and killing other things and fighting and wars. And we try to make it not, but we just do it anyway. And it's just a bunch of just craziness going on. Now, how could that be a loving God? God, it doesn't have to be that way. So maybe God is like that little kid that sends everybody to the cornfield, sends everybody to the cornfield in the Twilight Zone. Maybe that's God. Maybe God's not a horny little blue boy. Maybe he's a bad little blue boy, a bad little kid that just likes to see everybody suffer and everybody do horrible things. That was my thought. And I thought, okay, we'll get this. I thought that was my own. I thought I came up with that original thought. I thought that was my own. I swear, I thought that was my own. I was like, wow, I came up with something. No, I didn't come up with it. That's not me. That's not me at all. That's not me.
not good in any way that a morally healthy human being would recognize as good. And honestly, I think this is a much more common emotional position than people are willing to admit. There are people sitting in church not thinking, I definitely don't believe this. They're thinking, I'm afraid this is true and I don't like what this says about reality. That is mesotheism, not atheism. It's the person who says, maybe there is a God, maybe there is a creator, but if God made hell, I cannot call him loving. Maybe there is a God, but if God demanded blood for forgiveness when I can forgive without additional violence, then I cannot call him merciful because I'm doing something good that God can't. Or maybe there is a God, but if God killed children just to make a point to Pharaoh, and if God also hardened his heart, I cannot call him just. Maybe there is a God, but if God designed a world where animals eat each other alive and children get cancer and humans are born into systems of suffering because someone ate an apple, I cannot call him good. So my kids were not having an atheist reaction. They were having kind of this proto-mesotheist reaction. It's more like, if God is real, then why is he acting like the villain? Because when you're raised religious, all of this collapses into one, that God exists, God is powerful, and God is good. But really, we shouldn't just lump those together. Those are three separate claims. A being could exist and be powerful and still not be good. A being could create the world and still not be worthy of worship. A being could defeat Pharaoh and still be morally terrifying. And that distinction is very hard for religious people because most of us were trained to think that once you prove that God exists, then the whole package comes with it. Obedience.
And I think that when you're indoctrinated as a child, and these things are injected into your head, you know, what to speak of a cult? A cult is a whole nother level, right? But just religion messes up your head because it predisposes you to think a certain way. That God is good and God is great, and all these cliches that go along with this concept. And maybe he is, maybe he's not. But anyway, the brainwashing, the manipulation is definitely there. I remember when I was in Catholic school, not in Catholic school, but I was in catechism, and my brother and sister were in Catholic school. And they were teaching me to say my prayers. I was really little. And they were teaching me to say my prayers, and they were telling me at a very young age, 3 years old, 4 years old, if I didn't say my prayers, I was going to go to hell. I couldn't go to heaven. And that just was something that just was indoctrinated into me at a very young age. And it turns into religious trauma. Okay, that's what I want to say. Where is my 7 ways religion traumatizes people? Religious trauma syndrome, I guess is what it's called. Thanks to Duca Squirrels, who said, look up religious trauma syndrome. I said, okay.
According to a Pew Research Center survey from 2018 and 2019, 2/3 of American adults identify with some religious faith. Many people find within their faith a sense of identity, community, and a deeper connection to purpose or a higher power. But along with the benefits of any faith system come the dangers of experiencing spiritual abuse or religious trauma. Any structure or community provides opportunity for power dynamics or abuse. But when we throw faith into the mix, everything gets an added layer of complication. Because our faith can be such a key part of our identity, when we are controlled by narratives that are dehumanizing or shame-based within a religious system, we can experience deep trauma. It's one thing when your boss tells you you're a failure. It's another thing when someone claiming to speak for God tells you something similar. My goal with this video isn't to demonize religion or in any way say that religion is bad. I was raised in church and was active in my youth group and even went on various mission trips. I always felt that church gave me a good foundation to grow, and in some ways it kept me safe. I also know people whose faith has informed their identity in a positive and
So Snoggle, good to see you. the husband looks like a mean prison guard. Yeah, he he doesn't look like a nice guy. And I'm gonna tell you, you know, when you've got religious trauma, and then you've got an abusive husband. I'm not saying he's abusive. I don't know him. You know, you're saying he looks. You're saying, yeah, he looks mean. He does look mean. He let her sit there, and it said "simple pussy woman" under her name. She's trying to say that it was a mistake. Well, why didn't you correct it? Why didn't you correct it? I don't believe these people. She's brainwashed by these books. She's got religious trauma. She's got this guru guy. She's got her husband who's in love with this Guru Hare, who's brainwashed into this shit. You know, if they don't go alive and go on there with him, then they obviously shame him. Then there's this new guy. I guess there's a new guy who's going in there, and so there's a new guy in there, and they are they're shaming him. So it's obviously a very abusive. It's an abusive situation with this guy and these people, you know, and it's just it can't be healthy for anyone. It's definitely not healthy for their relationship. I'll tell you that right now.
Empowering way. As an adult, I stepped away from organized religion because a lot of the spaces that I encountered seemed controlling and judgmental. And while that's not true for every church or religious community, it is true that the power that comes from religion has the potential to really shape us, for better or for worse. So let's jump into the 7 ways religion can be traumatizing and evaluate how we can identify when a religious space or community is a healthy fit.
I'm here with from UNFPA visiting the Emirati hospital in Rafah.
Number 7. Any system that requires conformity in beliefs in order to belong and doesn't make space for disagreements or questions can result in trauma. In many unhealthy religious communities, independent thinking isn't supported. People can be taught that they must agree with what they've been told by their church leaders. And the consequences for disagreeing can feel really intense. One member of our community shared with me, quote, "We are taught that there is only one right way, and anyone who says or teaches contrary to that is essentially the devil trying to lure you away from God. My experience was that the church capitalized on fear and shame to keep people drawn in. It's powerful and so damaging."
And that's what I'm saying about this woman. She is being forced by her husband and by this Guru Hare to accept him as her guru. He's as good as whatever. He's as good as God. Her husband is in love with this guy. According to her, those are her words. Her husband's in love with this guy. And she's got to go along with it. If she doesn't go along with it, she's shamed and humiliated. And she's got to go on live and she's got to explain herself and all this stuff. If that's not a recipe for trauma, I don't know what is. But you know, she may never wake up. She'll never realize that. She may never realize what's really going on, and that's really sad. I'm not telling you, it's a sad situation.
Number 6, beware of any faith community that motivates with fear. If you don't repent, you go to hell. If you don't remain abstinent, you will never find a spouse. And if you don't keep up with your prayer, repentance, purity, or whatever, and the rapture happens, well, then you're left behind with all the other sinners. I was even told as a child that tithing was what God called us all to do. And if we didn't have enough to even pay our bills, we were still supposed to tithe 10% of our earnings. If we didn't, God's message wouldn't get out and other bad things would happen, and we weren't supporting him. And even as a young child around 11 or 12, I felt pressure from my Sunday school teacher to give the church 10% of my allowance. So I gave it. every few weeks, every time I got allowance, not because I wanted to, but because I thought that if I didn't, something bad was going to happen. And even as I think about this, I was also pressured to make a purity pledge in a youth group to keep myself quote unquote pure before marriage. And they
It sounds like she was in a cult. It sounds like she was in a cult, and not just a religion. It sounds like she was in a cult. And she should come clean and just tell us which one it was.
asked the entire group of guys, so we're all in our youth group, they asked all the boys if they wanted to marry a virgin. And they all, of course, raised their hands. And then the youth leader said something to the effect that we would never find a husband if we didn't remain pure. Like, look at all their hands raised. I can't even believe I hadn't thought of this, and I never realized just how sexist that was. And also, who said any of us wanted to get married, right? It was, ugh. Anyways, let's move on. I also want to mention that when we talk about religious trauma, a term that is often used to describe our symptoms is religious trauma syndrome, or RTS. And in my deep dive into this subject, I found that not everyone agrees with this term, but I want to describe it here in case it resonates with you. To give more symptoms and detail to what RTS is, I'm going to quote Marlene Winnell, and I might be saying her last name wrong, I'm sorry, but she's the person who coined the term. And she states that RTS is the condition experienced by people who are struggling with leaving an authoritarian, dogmatic religion and coping with the damage of indoctrination. They may be going through the shattering of a personally meaningful faith and or breaking away from a controlling community and lifestyle.
So that's what this woman is. That's what this woman is having. This Radhe, she's having religious trauma syndrome. She's trying to break away, but she can't. She can't leave this authoritarian, dogmatic religion. She can't break away from her husband and this Guru Hari. And for whatever reason, like I said, there's a lot of reasons why people stay. It's probably a combination of financial and security and living conditions. A lot. There's probably a lot going on where she can't just make. She can't. She can't just walk away. That's just that's the way it is.
Just walk away. There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Now, I believe that RTS is in many ways similar to complex PTSD, because Marlene shared that RTS can come with negative beliefs about ourselves and struggles making decisions. She talks about having issues with emotion regulation, depression, and difficulties in our relationships. All of these symptoms can also occur in CPTSD. The only difference is that RTS is in direct connection with our experiences within our religious beliefs. And because our religion can have its hold on our belief system completely, our self-image, community, not to mention our way of thinking, I can see why it may be helpful for this type of trauma to have its own syndrome, not to mention its own treatment. And I will dig into that more in a bit. Number 5. If a religion trains us to not trust our body, thoughts, or any urge or need that we have because it may go against what the Lord or church thinks is right for us, that can lead to some serious trauma.
So there you go. There's another reason, and I'm glad because I didn't have the words for this, but I knew that this bhakti yoga, all of this bhakti yoga stuff, controlling the senses and rules and regulations leads to serious trauma. I call it mental illness, but we can call it serious trauma. But I've been saying that since I started doing these videos, and I'll tell you, when I started doing these videos and saying all this wacky shit that was just coming off the top of my head, and I knew that I know that I'm not a scientist or a professor or a doctor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I know I'm nothing of that. I know that. But I have my views, I have my ideas, and now 2 years later, after I've been watching and learning and watching and learning, my views have not changed. My views have not changed. They've only been reinforced that these guys are crazy, that this is that this stuff causes mental illness, that these cults make you crazy, that these gurus suffer from delusions and all kinds of mental problems. I've only it's only solidified everything I've ever imagined about this cult. Is just I'm getting confirmation left and right.
Example of this is how many churches still aren't accepting of our LGBTQ plus community, saying that their love is in some way a sin or it goes against what God wants. I mean, there are still places in our world that do conversion therapy. And here is one such example from a member of our community. She says, quote, "I've realized over the last year or so that I'm bisexual. However, due to my family being Christians and most of my friends too, I've only recently left church and all my friends were from there, I haven't come out or told many people out of fear of being rejected and cut off from my friends and family." And here's a question that I recently received on the podcast. And this person states, "Katie, can you please talk about sexuality and how that can affect someone's mental health? I grew up in a strict religion that views homosexuality as a sin. I left the religion when I realized that I'm a lesbian, but sometimes it's still hard for me to accept."
My wife called me lazy because I never do the things I say I'll do. I thought it was depression. We were both wrong.
When an organization tells us that who we are and who we love isn't acceptable, that can definitely be traumatizing. But add to that faith and spirituality, now you've got a situation where you conflate what you were being told by leaders as what you were being told by God. And if you're a person of faith, that can impact you on such a deep level. I've had many friends growing up who didn't feel safe coming out until they moved away and didn't go to their church anymore. I even had a friend who was shunned by his Mormon family because he came out as gay. It's so incredibly sad and definitely traumatizing. Number 4, any church or organization that prevents us from getting help, saying that we shouldn't need any outside support and that God will give us all the support we need, is not a healthy space to be in. In fact, I went to school with a few Christian scientists who don't believe in modern medicine, and they wouldn't let their kids go to the doctor for anything. They believed that if they prayed enough about it, they would be healed. And you could easily call that child abuse. Because if a child is really ill and the parents refuse to take them to the hospital and they die, well, then what? And it doesn't even begin to touch on the mental health issues and the
Okay, so I can't believe she went there with this because I was gonna show this later, but I'm gonna bring it up now because it made me. Let me see. Where is this? Oh, commercial. Hold on, everybody. So this is called What Medical Science Won't Tell You. And this is the Skeletor Swami.
Means to understand our spiritual nature and to act on that platform. The whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Krishna to raise Arjuna's consciousness from low consciousness to high consciousness. High consciousness begins by understanding that we are all spiritual beings. We have so many students here. Probably you're all mostly in the engineering line, is it? What else? Medical. Oh, medical is a step. It's a notch up above engineering. So medical means you're studying the body. First thing you have to learn the Latin names of every single little bone in the body. But in all these almost 20 years that you've been studying, did anyone ever tell you that you're not the body? Not in the school or the college.
So here he's got. So this is how disgusting this is. Okay, I'm gonna lay it out. This is how disgusting this is. This is in India. He's got a bunch of these. He's got a bunch of these students who are probably college students, medical students. As we just said, medical students. All these medical students here. And he's going to lecture. He's going to lecture them that they're not the body, and that real help is helping spiritual help, distributing these fucking books, and not vaccines and medicine and clean water and toilets, and not taking a shit in the same water that you drink, or washing your clothes in the same pond that you're using as drinking water, that the dogs are playing. I mean, how about doing something good in India? How about these people? These people want to become doctors. Right? These are medical students. They want to become doctors. They want to make people healthy and feel better and cure diseases and operations and help people and save people's lives and make people's lives better. Sick people. That's what these people want to do. And this fuck, he's gonna try and convince them, fuck that. You're not the body. You should just distribute these books, chant Hare Krishna, come build a temple with me, follow me around, put flowers around my neck, wash my feet, and say prayers to me, and that's the goal of life. That's what you really need to do. That's what he's there to tell them. Convince them, give up your medical school, give up your medical, your whatever you're going to do in life, doctor or whatever, make life better for people, and come worship me and follow me around, drink my foot fungus smoothie.
Is the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
And you know that at least some of these people.
This
Damn it
is
with these
Birdie,
commercials,
the
man! I
most
can't.
original air quality monitor
I have to
in the
break
world.
down and these
40,000 million. They're all
where they go? Where
in
they?
an average human body. Who can say?
These kids, you know, he's gonna get to some of them. They're gonna get books. They're gonna take these books home, and they're gonna give up their school. They're gonna leave their family, whatever. They're gonna do like Paz's brother, and they're gonna go off. They go to some eco village, some bullshit. Break up their family, break up their marriage, break up their girlfriend, do whatever. I'm not joking. That's what they're gonna do. That's what's gonna happen to these people. Here, look. This is right on the subreddit X Hare Krishna subreddit page. It was uploaded just today, 16 hours ago. It's like not even 24 hours ago. It says right here, I have a friend who's considering joining the Krishna life monks, the monk life, I guess. I'm trying to convince him otherwise. Is there anyone here with ashram experience who can share some experience? I'm sorry to tell you, man, but your friend's gone, man. If he wants to become a monk and Hare Krishna, I mean, I don't know what you can do. I don't know what you can do to stop. You can try to talk some sense into him. I don't know if it's gonna help. It sounds like it sounds like he's gone. I don't know. It sounds like he's gone. Hey, Jenna Moore, good to see you here. No problem, man. No problem. Has the whole world
gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
And this is the same shit that I'm like the Kazi with Lord Chaitanya. I'm like, why are you preaching this shit to these kids? These kids want to go to school. They want to become doctors and whatever to help their village, help their country, help whatever. And you want them to fucking come follow you. Worship you, wash your feet, cook your lunch, do all that shit. Fuck you.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. You know, and that gets back to her number 4. Any church or organization that prevents us from getting help is not a healthy space to be in. Why are they don't want these people to become doctors and all these. He should be sitting there going, you guys want to become doctors, you're in medical school, that's great. I hope you save a lot of lives. I hope you bring a lot of medicine to people. I hope you do a lot of great stuff with your doctorate degree. Don't forget about Krishna. Love Krishna and whatever. No, he's going to tell him, no, you're not the body. You're not, he's criticizing. He's going, has anybody ever told you in all your studies that you're not the body? And that helping the body is not helping anybody? And that chanting Hare, that's what he's going to do. We know it. We've heard it. We've all heard it. We all know. Messianic narcissistic personality disorders. I know, man. It's so, all of them, every single one of them has it.
Can be for our illnesses to be accepted and understood. And here's one such example from our community. When telling people about my childhood sexual abuse, I was told to just pray more and I would be fine, or that God doesn't give you more than you can handle, so it'll be okay. Also, they discouraged me from seeing a psychologist because God is the only one that can fix it. I have even heard personally from members of our community that they were told that their depression or other mental illness was just the devil trying to pry his way into
karma. It's karma and it's Kali Yuga. It's Kali Yuga, man.
life. What about dopamine and serotonin levels, or the fact that things maybe haven't been going so well for us? What about that? And oh my God, I hate, I know hate's a strong word, but I'll use it here. I hate when people say, God never gives you more than you can handle. It feels so dismissive, and like minimizing or invalidating. Ugh, I just hate it. Number 3, religious trauma can take place when belonging is conditional on belief. When a community requires you to share beliefs or you lose your family and friends, it becomes really hard for it to be healthy.
And that's where this woman is, and whether she realizes it or not, but she's in having religious trauma because her place, her belonging in this community is conditional on her accepting that this Guru Hari is a guru, that he's a God man, that he's whatever he says he is, and she's got to accept it. If she doesn't accept it, then she's a demon. She's with Mike. She's whatever. She's ostracized. And not only will she lose her standing in the community, but she'll lose her husband and her family and friends. And that's why that's why she was reaching out to me. She's reaching out to me because she realizes that she's in this position. And I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm just a dumb Mike with a YouTube channel that used to be a Hare Krishna. That's all. And I wish there was something I could do for her. I wish I'm not a halfway house. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. But it was a good first step, and I hope that she continues to get out of this cult, because just like this woman says, number 3, when a community requires you to share beliefs or you lose your family and friends, it becomes really hard to be healthy. It's just not a healthy environment to be forced to sit there with her husband and participate in something that she doesn't want to participate in. Just to belong in the group and to feel, and being victim shamed and victim blamed and humiliated and publicly all that. Nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants that. I mean, I don't want it. If somebody was analyzing my videos and going on there and making me look like a fool, I wouldn't like it. But what can I do? I put myself out there. I'm out there now. I'm Mike, and I do this, and and this Guru Hari has shown my videos, and he's talked about me doing it, and that's what I gotta deal with that now. That's what it is. But I'm willing to go through that because of what I'm doing. She's got to be willing to go through that because of her husband and her relationship. But it's not healthy for her. There's no reason why she should need to do that if she doesn't want to do it. And I honestly don't think she wants to do it. That's just my point of view. That's what all cult members say. They make people who went through abuse or mistreatment look crazy, like they're exaggerating for sharing their experiences, or worse, lying. Yes, like Dagmar. The guy just started attacking her and telling her that she was lying and she doesn't understand and she wasn't a good devotee or whatever. It's just attack. And that's what they did to this Radhe. And her only defense, the only way the only thing she could do was to surrender and say, hey, I'm sorry, I give up. And that's it. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't.
One of the amazing things about being involved in church is the community, or as many call it, our church family. That connection and support can be life-changing and so needed, especially now. But if we don't agree with everything they preach or have questions about something in the sermon, that beloved community can be immediately cut off. It's almost like they're controlling us by withholding love, that if we don't agree with everything, then we don't get to be around them anymore. Here's a story from another member of our community. They said, if I ever had questions about Christianity of any form, I got judged for asking and never felt like I could ask any questions. It was always believe exactly what the church does or leave. And I actually got in trouble with pastors once for questioning things as I've been trying to work out my identity. We should feel free to question, do our own research, ask the thoughts of others around us, and come to our own conclusions about things. Any group that doesn't allow for that and even threatens to push us out or cut us off from them if we don't just go along and agree can be indirectly damaging our mental health. Not to mention, it can be incredibly traumatic.
That's what I'm saying. It may look like what Duke was saying. It doesn't look any worse than a old folks bingo night. Like who cares? They're what did he say? Guru Jesus really doesn't get too many views. His group is more like an exclusive Krishna bingo group at a retirement senior center. Yeah, but people do come and go, and he's damaged a lot of people. That's what I'm trying to say, and he continues to damage people.
2, brainwashing and religious indoctrination aren't going to result in health. And I know I've touched on this throughout the video, but it's important that we all understand that telling someone there's only one way to think and to feel, and if they don't agree or go along, we can threaten to withhold love or even use the belief system against them. For example, the church can tell us that our issues or any of the questions that we have just show how much of a hold the devil has on our lives. I've been in churches who did this, and then after saying that, like the devil has such a hold, then they would ask for more from the person who had asked the questions, because in order for them to cleanse themselves of their sinful thoughts, they needed to volunteer at the church more or spend more time in prayer or whatever, you name it, any way to do more to earn it back. And the push to earn this love from God and the church isn't healthy. And for many, obviously, it can be traumatizing. And finally, number 1, religion isn't universally traumatizing or harmful. There are many instances in which it can offer the support, guidance, and care that we're looking for. And many churches and religions support independence and challenge the way things have, quote unquote, always.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and that's basically the biggest difference between a religion and a cult. Is a religion, you can belong to a religion, and you can believe in their teachings, and you can get on with your life. You can get on with your life. You don't have to follow a bunch of rituals, and you don't have to believe in all these certain things. You can have your, whatever, your worldview, but you can get on with your life. If you're in a cult, you can't. It changes you. It modifies your behavior. Everything is demonic or impure. Everything's Maya. You go to hellish planets. Yeah, it's Maya. So for the Christians, everything's the devil. And for Hare Krishnas, everything is Maya. Maya's got a hold of you. When you bloop, you go back into the material world. You bloop into the material existence. You're in Maya. You're in Maya, you're in Maya, you're in Maya. Okay. Okay, I want to. So this is for. I wanted to show a little bit of this for Anke, because if Rade's watching, this might be a good one for you. I never know if you're watching. You might watch on the replay. Maybe when you get some free time on your phone, you watch a video here or there. So maybe you'll get a hold of this, but maybe you don't want to date a psychopath, okay?
Dating someone new, it always begins with a first impression. But even if it's the best first impression of all time, how will the relationship look if that person is a clinical psychopath? How much can you read from that first impression, really? Here to tell you how to spot the signs of a psychopath when it comes to dating, relationships, and yes, sex, it's Dr. Seth Meyers. Dr. Meyers, what is a psychopath?
So a psychopath is someone who would test positive on a psychology test called the Psychopathy Checklist Revised, which was developed by someone named Robert Hare. So it is a specific psychological measure that includes many different areas of a person's functioning in life that will help assess, does this person have psychopathic traits? A lot of people use the term sociopath, thinking that is an appropriate term. I've spent years getting educated and training in psychopathy to get to the point where I understand sociopath is not a clinical term. When people use that, what they're referring to is antisocial personality disorder. So antisocial personality disorder is a personality disorder that means someone doesn't show guilt, remorse. They have several factors that make relationships and functioning in their life overall difficult. Someone who is a full-blown psychopath is even more severe than that. So again, they would need to be tested by something we call the PCL or the PCLR, and there are several hallmarks. One of them is something we call callous disregard. So in their relationships with others, they show a callousness. They show a callous disregard. They don't really care about others' feelings, but it's not like an angry, defensive way of not caring. It's, they just, like, it just doesn't compute.
And I would say that these gurus fit that description perfectly. And they just don't care. Whether they know, if they know that they're scamming these people and this is bullshit, they don't care. They have a callous disregard for these people's spiritual lives. And then to fall down like this Trivikram and have sex with one of his disciples, he doesn't give a fuck about that. He doesn't care about the woman that he had sex with. He doesn't care about his disciples that have to deal with the fact that he had sex with one of their god sisters, or that he's not following the rules and regulations and all that. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that. Sri Dayananda and Bhakti Vakaya don't give a fuck about these people and their families and he's got to move into some farm, eco village, milking a cow, traveling around in a bus and all this shit. Prabhupada didn't give a fuck. Callous disregard. They just don't care. Prabhupada didn't care about women. He didn't care about the children. These gurus don't care about the children. Marrying 12-year-old girls off to 19-year-old men, not giving a fuck what that's going to do to a little girl, thinking that that is what that little girl needs. She needs a 19-year-old man to be fucking abusing her and raping her. Fucking psychopath.
So they show a callous disregard. They don't show remorse. They are impulsive. They are hostile.
Have they ever shown remorse? Have these gurus ever shown remorse for Salochan, for Hadini, for the children, for anything? Have they ever came out? Do they have some kind of a day, solemn day of remembrance for all their victims? Fuck no, I don't give a fuck. Seriously, man. Psychopaths.
Can be very aggressive. Note that, however, psychopaths are not always necessarily murderers. You can have someone who is a psychopath who extorts millions of dollars in a banking scheme from someone. I'm not naming any names here, but there are psychopaths of all different kinds. But at the end of the day, they don't care about exploiting others because all they care about is meeting their own needs.
I've talked to...
Right, so that's why I say they're psychopaths. Psychopath doesn't mean murderer. Murderer means murderer. Psychopath means there's something wrong up here. They're insane. They got a lot of shit going on. You think Trivikram gives a fuck about his disciples that when he had sex with his 35-year-old disciple, 85-year-old man, 84-year-old man? You think he cared about what he was doing to her? These Absolutely. This is what I'm saying. Gora Jesus should get a psychological evaluation, and they can't. I did it years ago. I was labeled the all-American guy, good health. I was actually worried about myself after years of clinging to ISKCON. Yeah, well, you probably lied on some of your answers, Duke. You probably weren't honest. You probably weren't 100% honest when they asked you, like, you know, how do you feel? You were like, I feel great. You probably fibbed a little bit. You know, I would. I don't want him to come out and go, hey, we got this great jacket you got to put on. Put this jacket on, Mike. You did really good on your test. We got a new jacket for you to wear. Devotees like everything because they believe in karma. Why should I feel bad for somebody when it's your karma? They don't care that people who have been abused in the cult. Yeah, it was their karma. They're fine with it. They're absolutely fine with it. It makes them psychopaths. Absolutely. I'm saying there's a fucking cult of psychopaths. So many of the university professors I have known are malignant narcissists, including my ex. Trying to divorce someone like that leads to post-separation abuse. Radhe needs to go at her own pace. Yeah, I'm not trying to push her. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm saying I understand the situation that she's in. And that's why I keep saying it's sad. It's sad she's in that situation. And it's sad that there's nothing that anyone can do. She just needs to do whatever is best for her. But whatever it is, you know, it's not a good situation. That's the bottom line. Yeah, and yes, and then just discarded her. He was gonna marry her, and he was gonna start this marriage. I knew that was bullshit as soon as he said, and that's the thing, is these people don't care. They've never cared. There's no love. There's no love of God. If you can't treat your disciple right, you're full of shit with your love of God. Love of God bullshit.
To other doctors about psychopaths, and even in this example, I hear them being referred to as men most often. Are there more men who are psychopaths than women?
The research that we have on psychopaths is usually based on studies that have been conducted among incarcerated individuals. So we get those data sets from jails, from prisons, and whatnot. So yes, the research says more males are psychopaths than females.
Okay.
What I would say is that there are more female psychopaths than we probably currently believe.
Okay.
Nobody thinks of a woman
No.
as a psychopath. Plus, when you think about the way men and women are socialized, boys are socialized to go get it on the football field. Girls are socialized to play nicely with the other girls, you know? So at the end of the day, males and females are both human beings and have a lot of the same central elements.
Absolutely. Let's talk about a hypothetical scenario. I'm at a party and somebody...
Okay, so yeah, enough with the psychopaths. But yeah, they're psychopaths, all of them. I say all of them, and even some of these followers. I gotta show this, because I think this is the clip that really shows some insanity, some real insanity. And I think Duke, I think this may have been when you were in there. I don't know. But I saw this little bit, and I tried to save it where it was.
You could say it's criticism, but just points out its faults. See? Otherwise, if the faults are not pointed out, you think you're going to be delivered by something that has faults. See? And then you're not. See? The only thing that's going to deliver us is this devotion, this bhakti, this pure bhakti. That's what delivers people out of illusion. It gives them the right understanding. I mean, this is proof of it right here. How can I understand this? This is impossible. Nobody's even preached it. Bhagavatam's always preaching it, 24 hours a day preaching it, but nobody understands it. But now I'm understanding it. Why? Because of what I'm committed to. Because of this bhakti, I can understand these deep things. I can understand why Gary reacts. You know, he's saying, well, why are you criticizing good people? Yeah, Narayan Raj is a good person, right? Why are you doing it? Well, Bhagavatam criticizes good people like that because they still have subtle envy, jealousy, and pride, which is shown in their activities, which is shown in their lineage. Yeah, look at the Narayan Raj lineage. Be honest, people. Can you tell the difference of real pride and real humility? Can you tell the difference between what is of pride and what is of love of Krishna? Can you see the love of Krishna there? No. I mean, at least I don't see it, you know. But can you see pride there? Yeah, lots of it. Can you see it? Probably not. And that's because you have no love of Krishna. See? But
Where's my
No! I can't take anymore. I've had it with you.
I wanted to show the part where he starts cussing and swearing, but I can't take any more. I can't take any more. It's just
hell. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
But if that's not psychosis, I don't know what is. To sit there and talk about how you can understand, only he can understand, and he's got this and he's this and that, and these other. But I mean, what about these people that sit there and are just soaking it up? They're just as psychotic as he is. They are all under this illusion, this delusion, this mental illness. Where
I can dance. Boom, 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 You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, 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 yay!
You were you were honest. You met the curve. I think because I was in a healing process, therapy worked. That's a good sign of being healthy. Yeah, absolutely. I was just you were honest. You were like McMurphy. You were like you were like McMurphy. Yeah, there. He can't see it. Nobody can see it but us because we've seen this shit so many times. It's ridiculous. But I don't see it as being funny. I see it as being dangerous. I see all these people as being victims. I see them all as being victims. I see them all experiencing the psychosis, and it's spreading. And there's new people, and he's got new people coming in. He's yelling and screaming about the old people that left. It's a friggin' circus, okay? It's a friggin' circus.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Let me show this a little bit of this. This is funny too, because we don't know what these people are because they're not going to sit to be analyzed. Like Hri Dayananda, I would love Hri Dayananda to be analyzed by a psychiatrist, by a psychologist, figure out what the fuck is wrong with him. A guy goes to Harvard. He's a friggin' cult leader. He goes to Harvard. He's got some kind of degree, and he can't figure out he's a cult leader. He can't figure out that these scriptures are not 5,000 years old, that this bhakti bullshit is not 5,000 years old, that there was no Krishna appearing in Vrindavan, 5,000, all this bullshit. He can't figure that out. Fucking A. Give Harvard a bad name.
A sociopath, psychopath, narcissist, or dark empath before? Well, this video could be the ultimate duel between super characters to determine who wins the title of most harmful. These personality disorders have dark traits or characteristics that make them dangerous to the people around them in varying degrees. Some personalities are more aggressive than others. Some conceal themselves better than others. But what they all have in common is their manipulative traits. While they all manipulate people to get what they want, each has their unique way and reason behind why they do it. So let's explore each dark personality type briefly before going into which one could be the most harmful to your mental health. Number 1, sociopaths. Hailing from the spectrum of antisocial personality disorder, which, by the way, is not just preferring pizza over people, and weighing in with a weak conscience coupled with a weak sense of empathy, we have the sociopath. They know they're wrong, yet find justifications instead of being good. Sociopathy is characterized by, but not limited to, clearly don't care how others feel, attachment issues, unpredictable, hot-tempered behavior. Their low empathy and weak conscience makes lying and disregarding others in pursuit of their own needs easier.
And the more I learn about this shit, the more I think about Prabhupada being a fucking psychopath too. He didn't give a fuck. And he lied and out for his own, all this shit. Man, I'm telling you. Yeah, they would try to analyze the therapist. When I was in therapy, I was a Hare Krishna when I went to therapy when my wife passed away. And I went in there, and I know the doctor must have thought I was crazy. Because I was telling him about I'm a Hare Krishna, and I had a shaved head, and I'm telling him that, that I've been to India, and all this stuff. I have my bead bag with me, and the neck beads on, and he must have thought I was nuts, and I looked at him like a karma. He's just a karma doctor, but I was suffering from depression. I was really suffering. So I was like, he was a doctor to me. He's like, make me better. So I was, I looked at him like a doctor, like if I had my leg amputated, whatever. I was like, you got to help me. I can't function. My wife passed away, and I can't function. but then after about two years, maybe I was in it for maybe 2 year therapy for about 2 years, and I woke up and I went in one day and I said, hey, I'm not a Hare Krishna. I'm not a Hare Krishna anymore. And then I joked with him about how he's gonna remember me being like, yeah, I was seeing this guy. He was a Hare Krishna, and then I talked to him, and then he left. He left the cult, but he had nothing to do with it. I did it on my own. He's delusional, thinking these teachings are the end all be all. He thinks and thinking, yeah, that's why I'm saying they all do. And that's why I'm saying we look at this Guru Hari as a special kind of stupid. And he's not. He's a typical ISKCON guru, scamming, fraudulent, faking, whatever you want to call it. That's him. That's him. And his disciples look like they look like carnival barkers. They look. Wait, I did that. I wanted to do this other one. Okay. Okay, so we did. Did I do this one already? I'm not sure. Yeah, I did that one. Okay. Okay, let's watch this. It's the taste of this one. What do we got? Okay, I got some time. We're gonna watch a little bit of this one because they fall into this. Yeah, that's what I said. I agree with you. He probably thought I was because I wasn't a, and then I got into comedy. So I went from being a Hare Krishna to being a Hare comedian. I got into comedy while I was in therapy. So I went from being a Hare Krishna to being a stand-up comedian. You can imagine that. He's probably still talking about me to this day. He's probably still talking to me. I'm not seeing others post on the stream. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So here's another one here.
Because you really believed their hype or their pitch or their charismatic sparkle, it's easy to believe when you're with them that you're in the presence of greatness. And then, once you witness their first tantrum, you realize that not so great. In fact, that you may be in the presence of something far more damaged and sinister.
That's what I said. That's what I said when I watched this guy, when I watched these gurus go off. Kem Nama Nagud. Okay. All right, great. When I learn that language, I'll reply. Sure we will when we have something to say. Hey, well, I'm glad you're there. We're planning to see you. No way he said this. No way. Who said what? Who? Who are you? Chosen one. Who? No way. Who said what? Okay. Okay. Now I want to get into. Okay, so we did this one, and we did this one. Okay, now this is gonna be funny. Wait, let me see.
You could say it's criticism, but just points out its faults. See? Otherwise, if the faults are not pointed out, you think you're going to be delivered by something that has faults.
All right, dude. I'm done with you. That's not the one I wanted, but I'm done with him. Let me see. Okay, let me get to this. Let me get to these guys. I got to hear what these guys have to say. This is so ridiculous. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about this.
And one of Prabhupada's disciples.
Oh, the
asked
sound
him,
is bad. These guys got bad sound.
Prabhupada, maybe said Swamiji, how many pure devotees are there in the world? And Srila Prabhupada said, how many devotees are in our movement?
Okay, I don't know. And
they said something like, it's about 100 or something like that. And he said, well,
their sound level is really low on that, and I don't know what the problem is with that. So I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to cut them loose. And we did this one. We did this one. Okay. Let's. Oh, I don't have that anymore. Okay, let's just do this.
I can dance. Boop, 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 You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boop, 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 Yay!
Yeah, Gora Jesus, he has no faults. He says that he's the person Bhagavat. He says that he's the person Bhagavat, and that he's teaching things that even Prabhupada couldn't teach. It's just such bullshit. Okay, I just want to make clear that there was a time when I was one of these. I was one of these freaks, and I would be there with my books, and I would be chanting, and I would be banging on a drum or banging on the little chingy chings, or handing out books. And I would be right there down at Venice Beach or Hollywood Boulevard or in Culver City. Or wherever I'd be like this guy walking on, like this guy right here with the apple on his shirt. I'd be like, huh, what? Okay. You want me to do what? Get some books? Okay, I'll go. Yeah, okay. That was me. And I'd be like, okay, whatever. What do you want me to do? You need a microphone? Okay, I'll set up the microphone. Or I'd have my camera. I'd be videotaping, doing something like that. I'd be right there with these friggin' nuts.
I can dance. Boop, 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 You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boop, 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 yeah.
I know. There's a few of us in here that was right there. They were right there with me. There's a bunch of us that were right there. That would be doing it right there. I know he couldn't say he can't say shit. He's just so. If it wasn't causing harm to so many people, it would be funny. It'd be stupid funny, but it's not. It's really harmful. It's really harmful because they may come to him on their way out, and instead of getting out, they come to him and they get stuck and they stay in doing this, or they're not in and they find him and then they get in. It's none of it is any good. None of it's any good. I don't care. I don't care how insignificant he is. If he fucks up one person's life, just one pauses brother situation where they go in and they find this Guru Hari guy and he's talking about Bhagavad Gita and Prabhupada, and somebody goes and says, oh, I want to go find out more about Prabhupada. Next thing you know, they're in a friggin' eco village. They got their kids in the friggin' Mayapur, goddamn Gurukul getting abused. No one should have anything to do with this shit. I don't care who they are. And that's what pisses me off about this Guru Hari character. You know, it's just it's bad news all the way around. It just is. It just friggin' is. And I'm not gonna stop talking about it. Okay, what? So we have that one. Okay, now here's another idiot. Here's another friggin' so fucking stupid. And this is what that. Let me just do this.
Remnants in Srimad.
Here we go.
Sri Uddhava teaches us about the importance of honoring Krishna's remnants in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 6, verse 46. There he says, and I quote Uddhava, Sri Uddhava, simply by decorating ourselves with the garland.
He really thinks. He really thinks he's a super white Hindu. He really thinks he's a super white Hindu. Like he's a Guru Swami guy, just like Guru Hari. Just like Guru Hari thinks he's a guru, this guy thinks he's a guru too. I mean, at least Guru Hari had a dream. At least he had a dream. This guy didn't even have a dream. This guy, some other friggin' idiot said, yeah, you can be a guru. And he's like, oh, okay. And now he thinks he's a guru too. This is so fucking stupid. These people are so fucking stupid. They think we're stupid. And we're trying to wake people up and say, don't fall for this shit. Just please, please don't fall for please don't fall for this shit.
Oils, cloths, and ornaments you, Krishna, have enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, will indeed conquer over your illusory energy.
Yeah, and this is a guy, he wants you to drink his foot water and eat the remnants of his food. Disgusting prick while he's molesting little girls, rubbing his hands over a little girl's body, taking pictures of little girls on the beach in bikini. Little girls. I know, justice for little girls. All he does is groom little girls to become underage wives. That's all he does. That's his claim to fame. This fuck this guy. That's what I say. Not enough people are saying it. I'll say it. Fuck this guy. Fuck this piece of shit. This fucking groper pod. This little girl groping motherfucker. Fuck this piece of shit. And fuck everyone that worships this piece of shit. And why is everything by simply? Nothing simple. Nothing simple about this shit. I know. You know, you're right about that. Well, you're right about that. Everything, they fucking, fuck this piece of shit. That's what I say. God damn. Son of a bitch. Goddamn son of a bitch. Swear. Okay. Let me get another one here. We got okay, I don't know what this is. I guess Rafal or someone sent this in. But here we go.
Sridhar Mayapur, a beautiful place to grow up. Kids get so many opportunities to engage in simple devotional service, cultivate good qualities and values.
This is like the child abuse capital of the friggin' world, okay? As more kids are abused in this one small area of the planet than probably in anywhere else on the planet. Right there in Mayapur, in the ISKCON school. That is ground zero for friggin' child sexual abuse. Boys and girls. True, nothing is simple about Krishna Cult. Nothing is simple. There's no chant and be happy. It's chant and be frustrated and depressed is what it is. Even something as simple as eating suddenly becomes everything is complicated. Everything. Especially if you go to Vrindavan, then everything is super complicated. It's so. I know this is bowling. It's not Nam. I know it's.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Okay, let me get back. What else is going on? Let me see. Talking about children. Them and their children in my.
Here we can see children from across the world perform devotional dance and drama in the Sri Mayapur Goshala.
Yeah, absolutely. Even wiping your ass is friggin' complicated. It's complicated. It's not simple. It is not simple at all. It's not simple at all. It's just everything. Everything. It's just crazy. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna hit the mail bag in a second here because I got a few more.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination, of imagination, of imagination, of imagination.
All right, let's see what we got here. We got let's see what this is. Let's see what we got here.
We call alcoholics. They're what we call workaholics. And there's what I call servaholics. An alcoholic is someone who's an incessant drinker. A workaholic is someone who's an incessant worker. Incessant. And a servaholic, thusly, must be someone who's incessantly serving. This proves it. A servaholic. This is a
servaholic is a servaholic is a psychopathic narcissist with delusions of grandeur who thinks that he's a god man, who thinks that Krishna is talking to him in some kind of disciplic succession where the demon head eats the moon and there's a guitar player floating between planets. Meanwhile, Vyasadev's talking to an elephant-headed guy. It's insane. It's insane. They're going to sit there and talk about other people like, well, there's alcoholics and there's workaholics. Dude, you're freaking delusional. Let's talk about what's wrong with you. Let's talk about what's wrong with what's your mental state.
Use nomenclature, phrase. Alcoholic doesn't mean just an incessant drinker. It means one who hides the reality of his life.
Dude, you are hiding from reality. You are hiding from reality. Like, you don't want to face reality. You don't want to be a human being. You just want to be some reject, some societal reject that lives in your own friggin' weird ass world of flowers and foot fungus smoothies. It's bizarre, psychopathic behavior, man. Of all the holics, Krishna holic is the most dangerous. Absolutely. They're absolutely out of their minds. He's a boraholic. He's a snooze. Oh, my goodness. Foot fungus smoothie corner. Yeah, man, those foot fungus smoothies. Let me see. Get this one out of the way. Let me get this. What? Another one of these friggin' delusional psychopaths. I'm telling you, delusional psychopaths. I think it's the same one. Yeah, here he is. Look, he's just showing off. He's showing off. Yeah, I travel around the world. I travel around the world. I go where I want. Everybody, and I don't pay. Everybody pays. You know, and they put flowers around me. You know, have you seen enough flowers yet? I don't think you guys seen. Did I tell you about the flowers everybody gives me? And then I get to sit there, and I'm super white Hindu because you see, I got all the brown Hindus. I'm a super white Hindu. You see, I'm. See how cool I am? And look, I can dance. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you do it, and then you'll know. I'm a traveling monk. I'm Aren't I special? I'm special. I'm special. Damn it.
I can dance. Boom, 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 boom. You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, boom, boom. Yay!
I'm special. Damn it! Can't you see I'm special? You see the flowers around my neck? I know. It's Krishna Anonymous. Hare Krishna's Anonymous is what it is. Acharya Anonymous. It's gentleness on steroids. I know. Hey, did you see the flame? Did you see the plane I fly in? Did you see I'm traveling around the world on a plane? Yeah, I get to Guru Palooza wherever I want. I'm the shit, man. You see, just like Guru Hari, it's no different. He's just Guru Hari with more followers and more money. That's all. I mean, it's serious if you want to get down to it. Uh-oh. I know they all think I know it isn't it because Prabhupada tells them that they're a super white Hindu. Prabhupada in his books tells them that they're the most fortunate, the most intelligent, the most surrendered. That if you're not surrendered to a guru, you're dumb shit. And this is for the most intelligent, topmost knowledge, topmost everything. It's the topmost traveling on other people's money. I'm Guru Paloozing, damn it. I got a Guru Palooza to get to. Man, I don't have time for this shit. I'm Guru Palooza. It's so fucking ridiculous. And no shame, damn it. They got no friggin' shame, okay? They got no shame.
Welcome everybody at home. We're waiting for a few more people to join here and we'll get started in probably about 5 minutes. So if you want to grab your beads for chanting, if you want to set up your own altar, light your own candle, we'll get started shortly. All right. Very nice.
I have no idea what's going on. It looks a little weird though. I don't know. It looks like those, I don't know what those are. I guess those are deities or something. Let me get a close-up of what that is.
Shri Shiva Namaha, Jai Parvati Ma Namaha, Jai Lakshmi Aye Namaha, Jai Radhaman Namaha, Jai Saraswati Aye Namaha, Jai Durga Ma Namaha, Jai Kali Ma.
I have no idea what's going on here. It says Krishna consciousness, but it doesn't look.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare.
Here we go.
Right there. All right. Could you hand me my harmonium? So we're going to put that there so the people at home can just have a nice up close of Krishna. So we have a couple songs we're going to do today. Of course, what would we do without singing Hare Krishna? Here are
I don't know what this is.
sheets if you want.
I have no idea. I have no idea what this is. It's idol worship. Yeah, well, yeah, we know that. But it's a weird kind of. It looked like a weird kind of. It looked like a weird kind of wooden idol, like a some kind of. It looked like a deity made out of mud. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like a deity made out of mud, and I don't know what that is. What that is. I don't know what that is. We go back here. I don't know. It just. I don't know. It's weird. I've never seen anything like that. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Okay, let me see. Oh, what is this one? Oh boy. That's some bullshit. I know it is.
Sri Rupa Goswami writes in Padyavali, text 93, O Lord Krishna, I pray that the remnants of your foodstuff may become as palatable to me as a woman's lips are palatable for a materialist. I pray that the narration of your pastimes may become so sweet to my ears as the words of a young girl are sweet for a materialist.
All right, that's enough. This guy is creepy. This guy is friggin' creepy with his little girls and his bikinis, little girls in bikinis, and all his women jumping up and down, and his groping and rubbing his hands on these little girls, and all of that shit. And for him to get on here and start talking about lips and the words and young girls and sweet and all this stuff is really creepy. It's just creepy knowing who this guy is. If you don't know who this guy is, then okay, it may seem like, you know, I'm overreacting, but this guy is a friggin' perv. This guy's a friggin' pervert, and he can't stop talking about lips of young women and this and that.
I pray that the sight of your transcendental form may become as pleasing to my eyes as the beauty of a young bride is pleasing to her husband. And I pray that I may always chant your holy names in the same way that a lover reads aloud a letter from his long-separated beloved. From this verse we can understand that essentially...
Yeah, these, you know, it's really weird. I gotta say, it's really weird when you got these old white guys that are like preaching this celibacy and this women are Maya stuff and all this stuff, like all this anti-women stuff, and then always talking about loving God, like they're experts at love, or somehow they know about love when they reject relationships with women, and it's just a weird friggin' cult. And when you're in it, somehow it all makes sense. But when you get out of it, it's fucking bizarre. It's fucking weird. It's fucking everything fucking wrong. Child marriage, racism, sexism, misogyny, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, manipulation, psychopaths running everything, and you can't tell me they're not psychopaths. I've learned enough. I've learned enough in the last 30 days. I've learned enough in the last 2 months. I know what a psychopath is. I know what a narcissist, a psychopath, a friggin' whatever. I recognize these guys. I don't even need a doctor to analyze these guys anymore. I do it myself now. Why do they keep going? I know it's all he knows how to do. It's all he knows how to do. He's obsessed with little girls. It's like you couldn't find a different verse. You couldn't find a different verse. Like every verse, everything, it has to do with little girls and women. Every video is little kids, little boys on a hostage video talking how they like japa. Like I met a 6-year-old kid who just loves to chant japa. That's the greatest thing in the world, because he doesn't know anything about it. He doesn't know any other toys or about, G.I. Joe or Tonka trucks or playing football or anything. He doesn't know anything about that. Oh, I love Japa. It's freaking insane. They were making cow shit idols back in Buddha's time. He said it was retarded superstition. Yeah, and they haven't stopped. They haven't stopped doing it. The women's hot lips, I know. The hot lips, hot feet, foot fungus. Gore, it's a really weird situation. It's a really weird situation. Those people over there, they're weird. They're really weird, and I hope that doctor fucking analyzes them. I would love for this doctor. Yeah, it's in California. It's it's in California, and they're making cow shit idols. I guess I don't know. I know the poor little kids chanting. I know the poor little kids, the little boys, the 5 little boys, man. It was like the little He-Man Woman Haters Club, It was so sad, so sad. I think I'm gonna do one more. Let's see. I wanted to go on a high note. I don't know if this is a high note, but let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do with this.
I think the responsibility falls on Prabhupada, really. That it was his system, he devised it. We were his servants. We did what he wanted with our children. We thought he had a divine vision of how they should be raised.
Jeffrey Hickey could be a key witness. He was the man in charge of all the Gurukulas during much of the abuse.
And I think a lot of people point their fingers at me, saying because I was the Minister of Education, it should have been my responsibility to see that these things didn't happen. I was doing what Prabhupada wanted. His instructions are clear.
Jeffrey Hickey is also the father of Nirmal Hickey. Jeffrey is often consumed with guilt.
For sure. Looking back on my decision to become a follower of Bhaktivedanta, I can see that it was a reckless decision. It was a risk that I was taking.
Okay, so all I can say is I admire him for coming clean. I admire him for saying, "Hey, I was doing what Prabhupada said," and I don't feel like he was passing the buck. I think he was being honest. He was saying, "I was doing what Prabhupada told me to do," and if I wasn't doing what Prabhupada wanted me to do, he would have made it clear. Are we clear?
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
He was doing what Prabhupada wanted him to do. He was doing he had everything the way Prabhupada wanted. And I bet he feels bad. His son ended up, I don't know, falling out of a tree or something, and breaking his neck, or I don't know what happened. His son became disabled. Yeah, he was a good son to he was a good dad to his son. He tried to be at least, he owned up. He owned up. He said it was wrong. And everybody came down on him for that. They said that he was blaming Prabhupada and this and that. And that's what I'm saying. This is cult. This is bullshit. They'd rather blame him than just apologize to the kids and say, "Hey, we fucked up. We're sorry." Whatever. Yeah, it's interesting to watch pagans debate literacy and education as if they pioneered either. Yeah, I know. ChatGPT is on a roll. So I gotta hand it to him for that, for coming clean. I don't know. I know his son passed away. I think his son passed away. I'm not sure if Jagadish passed away or not. I for some reason I think he did. I don't know for sure, but for some reason I think they both passed away. But it just shows you how there's nothing good comes from this cult. All of my viewers out there, if you're watching, you new people that are watching, you don't know anything about this cult, or you're in it, you're trying to get out, or you come in contact with it, you're trying to find out more about it, or somebody you know is getting involved with it, and you're trying to find out more about it. This is a horrible friggin' cult. It's a horrible cult with horrible teachings. They're racist and sexist. They're callous. They don't care about anybody. These gurus are delusional. They're psychopaths. They're narcissistic, malignant narcissists with friggin' delusions. Just stay away, man. Just stay away. And even if it looks harmless, man, it most likely it's not. If it's a bhakti lounge, a Krishna house, if it's anywhere near a college, in a college town, if it's a Rath Yatra, if they got carts and they got, man, just get away from them. If it's a Govinda's restaurant and they got books in there and they got like an altar in there and an incense, whatever, stay away. Don't go there. Don't go to their festivals. Don't take their books. Don't distribute their books. And tell a friend, and if you know anybody who's getting involved with them, tell them to watch my videos. They come in here and we'll set them straight. He has to take responsibility for all the harm that happened under his watch. Yeah, I feel like he did take responsibility, but Prabhupada is ultimately responsible too. I mean, he's responsible, but Prabhupada created the whole thing. I'll never say that Prabhupada was not responsible, but a lot of people were responsible, and he was. But I'm glad that he came. I'm glad he came clean, and he said that, hey, we were doing what Prabhupada wanted. And that's true, because everything operated exactly the way Prabhupada wanted. He set up the BBT, he set up everything. And he made sure everything was operating the way he wanted it. So it's all Prabhupada's orders must be followed. And he is to blame. He is to blame. So you know what? Let me do one more. I'm going to do one more video, because I do want to go out on kind of on a higher note than that. Let's see. What is this? What is this one?
To the new CTI M series.
It's a commercial.
With the M series, you
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
This is more like it. Okay.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Here he is with his girls. He got his girls.
I can dance. You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Yay!
And of course, I gotta remind myself, and I gotta remind everyone else. I was out there doing that shit. I was doing that. I was right out there. I was dancing. I was banging, clanging, doing the whole thing. And I feel bad. I feel bad about it. Yeah, they reported. They brought the guy to Prabhupada, and he said, "Hey, just he can come. He can come to Sunday feast." That's what he said. He said he can come to the Sunday feast. He didn't say call the police. He didn't say take me back to Vrindavan. He didn't say, hey, we need to. He didn't do a fucking thing. Prabhupada is to blame. Russia. It's Russia. It's so sad. All these girls dressed up. Yeah, it's manipulation. It's
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
so deluded, so deluded, thinking that what they're doing is important. Just remember, we thought it was important too. We thought it was important. They think it's so important that everybody see them and hear them. Like, oh, they're seeing devotees of the Lord, and Lord Chaitanya is here with us, and they're getting mercy. These people, they think these people are getting mercy. They think that it's such a... They're so deluded. And this guy, he thinks he's God man. He's the most deluded one of all. He thinks he's a God man, and he's saving these people. He thinks he's saving these people, and these women. It's just what a clown show. What a fucking clown. What freaks. Absolutely. Trey Martin, how you doing? Freaks, man. Freaks. Jumping up and down, flapping my junk for joy in the crowd. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, I guess he likes the beach because he's more likely to see women in their bikinis at the beach than anywhere else. So he likes taking his people to the beach. And look at these deluded. They're all deluded. Look at these, every one of them. And look, oh, they're going to all dance. Look, I can dance. Boom, boom, boom. I can dance.
I can dance. Boom, 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 boom. Sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, boom, boom. Yay.
Gotta get the kids involved. Hey, look. Hey, all the pedophiles. The pedophiles are having a festival. Let's go dance with them. No, that's okay. I'd rather not dance with the pedophile cult. They can dance by themselves. Yeah, us karmis are just jealous. Yeah, I'm jealous of all these pedophiles and their pedophile gurus and have jumping around with a bunch of little kids. I'm really, I wish I had no morals. I could do that. I wish I could. I
can dance. Boom, 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 boom. You sing it with me, and then you'll know. Boom, boom, boom. Yay.
It's insane. It's insanity. It's total insanity. Okay, so just to wrap up. Radhe is still in the Snanananda group. She hasn't reached out to me. I'm a hypocrite because I am not emailing her. Like, she wants to hear from me. Hey, what am I? Like, this is so stupid. So I'm a hypocrite because I'm not emailing her. She's still in there with Snanananda. All these gurus are psychopaths. They have delusions of grandeur. And anybody who comes in contact with this Hare Krishna cult is going to end up suffering from religious trauma syndrome. This video goes over religious trauma syndrome, the 7 symptoms, the seven symptoms of religious trauma syndrome. And that's what this cult does. That's what these gurus do. That's what this cult does. It causes harm. It causes mental illness, not only to these gurus, but it causes mental illness to these followers. All of these followers are just as delusional as these gurus. These gurus are really delusional, but these followers are under the spell of this bullshit. And they've become mentally ill. They've become delusional too. They have. If you're dressing up like if you're dressing up like this, and you're going out in public and acting like this, doing this type of stuff, you're delusional. You just are. You're delusional, and I mean that. I mean that with love. I mean that. I mean that with love. Okay, it's just. It just is. It's. I mean, has the whole world gone crazy?
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
I mean, really, man. I mean, we believe in nothing, Lebowski.
He believes in nothing. He believes in nothing, Lebowski, nothing.
I believe in nothing, Lebowski, nothing. Yeah, so, hey, that's going to do it for me today. I kind of like the starting an hour earlier than usual. I don't know if I can keep that up, but I might do it. I might, if I can, I might. I don't know. But I want to thank you for finding me an hour early tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining in. Has the whole world gone crazy?
Has the whole world gone crazy? Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Market 8, dude. Market 0, yeah. So I want to thank everybody for joining in today. Fake Human and Duke of Squirrels and Tim and Trey Martin and Fake Human again and Duke of Squirrel again and Joe Lynn and Jenna Morton and Snoggle. You can't forget Snoggle and Snoggle and Naguth and Chosen One and Weird Planet and all of you Gorahari people that are in here watching, all of you people too. Just remember, treat Radhe nice. She doesn't want to be in there. treat her nice. She doesn't want to be in there. Don't make her go in there if she doesn't want to. It's crazy. It's crazy. Just yeah. Hey, great. Thank you for the therapy, man. Thank you, Jolene. Thank everybody for participating. Yeah, just walk away. Just walk away, everybody.
Just walk away. There has been too much violence, too much pain. Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror. Just walk away.
Just walk away. There'll be an end to the horror, and that's going to bring this class to an end. We're ending it. I'm ending it now. That's it. So everybody, have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, great evening. If you're hungry, have a great brunch. Have some great luck. Please stay out of a cult. If you know somebody who's, trying to get out of a cult, send them this way. We'll help them. Please like, share, and subscribe, man. I'm excited. My subscribers are going up, views are going up. That means people are watching. People are getting, they know where to go if they want to get out of a cult. They want to get out of this Hare Krishna, get away from these gurus. World of hurt. We're entering a world of hurt, Smokey. All right, buddy. So thanks, Snoggle. Thank you, man. Thanks, everybody. And now's the time when you get to see me. Don't leave yet, because now's the time when you get to see me when I was one of these crazy, friggin' psychopathic, delusional, friggin' Hare Krishna. Here it is. Here's me as a delusional Hare Krishna, everybody. Thanks.
You saying you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? You got it! Ungar!